और फिर मरने के बाद भी इन्हें वीआईपी दी चाहिए, तो ये तो ठीक नहीं। आम आदमी की तरह जिए, आपने पूरे जीवन जो किया वो अमर रहेगा, आपकी समाधि, आपके लास्ट प्लेस क्रिमेशन की वो है, वो अमर रहेंगे, उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है।
So the Netas here really want that privilege even after their death. That's at least the signal we are getting from not just the UPA but also the NDA government regime, because it was the UPA government that started off with building that VVIP crematorium, and now NDA is not really halting the project. It's taking it ahead. Remember, 70% of this project is complete already. Now NDA is making sure that it reaches its logical end. So clearly, UPA, NDA being on the same page when it comes to VVIP treatment, even in the event of death. Now, that is what is being resisted, and of course, by some other political netas, especially the Aam Aadmi Party, as we heard that this is unfair, they say. But then, at the end of the day, if that is the kind of treatment that is meted out to the VVIPs, what about the Aam Aadmi? Well, clearly, bigger questions being raised on this development, parties like Aam Aadmi Party also now slamming not just the UPA but also the NDA government over this development. We'll keep tracking that story very closely and get you every update on that development. More importantly, we'll try and question those netas, the political class, who feel that even after death, it is more important to cremate the VVIPs with exceptionally more exceptional honor, really, and also perhaps erect some plaques out there, separate, in fact, acres of land now being used to keep a separate crematorium for netas and the other VVIPs. Now, that development clearly not going down very well with some of the other people, especially the Aam Aadmi. Now, the latest in this is, of course, that the NDA has refused to answer. We saw how my colleague was trying to question whether the BJP is taking forward the project, but the BJP netas were clearly evasive. In fact, I am joined by my colleague Payal Mehta, who is tracking that story very closely. Payal, you were asking a BJP leader about this, that whether they are going to go ahead with this proposal. Well, reports and sources are telling us that in all probability, they are not going to stop the project, rather they are going to bring it to their conclusion and logical end. What is it that the BJP netas are telling you?
The BJP is refusing to comment on this entire issue because obviously, they do not want to actually tell people that they are looking at a project that the Congress was already very keen on pushing. We tried speaking to Venkaiah Naidu, of course, the Urban Development Minister, yesterday, but he refused to comment on this particular matter. We know that for a matter of fact that the project is very much on. About 80% of the project has already been completed. It's nearing its finalization as far as the entire preparation is concerned. And that goes without saying that, yes, the project will be on because, the argument of the Urban Development Ministry is very simple. They do not have the time, the space, and of course the cost involved in bringing memorials for a lot of people, a lot of VIPs, a lot of VVIPs, a lot of sentiments associated with a lot of leaders. That is something which they do not have the space for. So in that process, what they feel that, one particular area, which is earmarked for itself, 11 acres of land is what we are talking about. That is going to be good enough to, actually pay tribute to close to 80 to 90 VIPs. So, that is what the government is currently looking at. They consider this project to be pretty viable, and that will actually serve the purpose. And Delhi is very soon all set to get its first VVIP crematorium.
Absolutely unfortunate. Payal Mehta, thanks very much for joining us, though, with those details. But it's absolutely clear at this point that netas are using taxpayers' money to discriminate against the same taxpayer or the Aam Aadmi. Unfortunate, isn't it? Let's now move on and get you some other news. This on the political front, let's get you this news from Maharashtra. Well, confusion continues over seat sharing between the BJP and the Shiv Sena, with both parties now refusing to budge from their demands. After a late-night meeting in the Sena camp, the matter now rests with the BJP, which has to decide on the seat-sharing proposal. Now, BJP leaders meeting to discuss Shiv Sena's proposal and, of course, the other important developments that are taking place within the two parties. Of course, it is going to be assessing the seat sharing on the priority, which can get from the Shiv Sena, and what can they negotiate at their best? Now, the BJP has been demanding about 125 seats out of the total of 288 seats of the Maharashtra Assembly, but the Sena has so far not given a nod to that. In fact, Sena had just a short while back, just about yesterday, offered 119 seats to the BJP. Sena maintains that they are in favor of the alliance but will not compromise on the seats. Now, BJP wants 125 seats for them and plus 9 seats for the other allies of the BJP Shiv Sena alliance. That's the breaking input we're getting at this point. BJP has made its demand very clear. After BJP core committee meet, they have demanded a 125 seats plus 9 more for the alliance partners, the other smaller parties, that is. Let's listen in.
कोई प्रपोजल ही नहीं है आपके पास। बैठक कल रात को होने वाली थी।
3 बजे जो बैठक होने वाली है, फिर एक बात उसके अंदर आपकी जो सहयोगी पार्टी है उनको आपने न्योता दिया है।
हम हमारी सीटों का निर्णय करेंगे। हम हमारी सीटें लेके
कितने लोगों की सूची, कितने लोगों की सूची
दिल्ली से ही होगा।
माथुर जी, कितने लोगों की सूची पर चर्चा हुई है?
आपको बताएं।
ये फैसला दिल्ली से ही होगा। आज का जो अंतिम फैसला आपके बाद कल दिल्ली मुंबई में होगा।
पूर्व कल दिल्ली जाना है, तो क्या उसके पहले आप लोग अपना आग्रह नहीं आगे बढ़ पाते? 119 सीट पर चर्चा हुई है माथुर जी।
ज्यादा बोलने थे यार।
मैं बार-बार कह रहा हूँ हमारे पास कोई प्रस्ताव नहीं है।
लेकिन चर्चा आगे बढ़ेगी या नहीं बढ़ेगी? अगर आज मसला नहीं था तो आप लोग आगे बढ़ेंगे। एक सिर्फ सवाल, आप लोग का कल मीटिंग है, तो अगर आज मसला सॉल्व नहीं होता तो क्या आप आगे बढ़ेंगे या इंतजार करेंगे?
हम कल सूची लेके जाएंगे जो करेंगे।
तो जो सिर्फ 119 सीटों की सूची लेके जाएंगे। शुक्रिया।
So pretty much of noise out there, but what we can clearly understand out of the reaction of the BJP is that they are clearly demanding 125 seats as of now, and in addition to that, they are looking at getting 9 more seats for the smaller parties, the alliance partners. Remember, but this after 109 seats in total offered by the Shiv Sena. Whether Shiv Sena will agree to the latest BJP demand is the big question, and whether there will be further strain in the ties between the two parties. But let's listen into more reactions coming in at this point.
बोलणी होईल आणि त्यानंतर मग निर्णय साधारण ते करतील अशी अपेक्षा
आपल्या लोकांवर फुटू नये याचा प्रयत्न आहे.
नाही. टोलवा टोलवी कुणाकडूनच होती असं वाटत नाही, पण प्रामाणिकपणाने प्रयत्न हे दोन्ही बाजूने होत आहे. परंतु जागा कुणी कमी करायचं आणि कुणी जास्त करायचं याच्यावर मात्र घटक पक्षाचा एक नेता म्हणून आम्ही असं अल्टिमेटम देऊ शकत नाही. परंतु आजपासून उमेदवारी अर्ज भरण्याची तारीख सुरू झालेली आहे. तर ही लवकरात लवकर जागा वाटपाची बोलणी संपवावी आणि महायुती एकत्र आहे असं चित्र महाराष्ट्राच्या समोर यावं असं
आपको बुलाया गया था यहाँ पे, क्या आप मध्यस्थता कर रहे हो? कितनी सीटों पे बात चल रही है दोनों पार्टियों?
देखिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी के महाराष्ट्र के नेताओं ने हमें यहाँ बुलाया था. जो शिवसेना और बीजेपी के बीच में युति के बारे में, सीट शेयरिंग के बारे में जो बातचीत चल रही उसकी जानकारी हमें दी है और युति अभी किस पोजीशन पे है और उसमें आपके बारे में भी क्या उनकी राय है ये भी हमें उन्होंने बताया है. लेकिन हमने उनसे कहा है कि महाराष्ट्र की जनता ये चाहती है कि महायुति एक साथ रहे. भले सीट के 1-2 सीट इधर हो या उधर हो उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आना चाहिए, लेकिन एक होकर ही इस राज्य में जो कांग्रेस और एनसीपी की गवर्नमेंट है उसको अगर उखाड़ फेंकना है तो सबने एक साथ रहना चाहिए, ऐसा हमने उन्होंने कहा है. देखिए, प्रस्ताव तो मैं शिवसेना का और बीजेपी का प्रस्ताव क्या है वो वही लोग बता सकते हैं। उन्होंने हमें जानकारी जरूर दी है, लेकिन हम उनके प्रस्ताव के बारे में बोलना ठीक नहीं समझते।
सर, आपको मध्यस्थता के लिए भी बोला गया है कि दोनों पार्टियों में आप मध्यस्थता करें, ऐसा कुछ?
नहीं, देखिए, मध्यस्थता तो हर पार्टी कर रही है, लेकिन बात सीट के वहां अटक रही है। जब तक ये दोनों पार्टियां सीट के लिए आगे पीछे करने के लिए तैयार नहीं होती है, तब तक ये जो बातें हैं वो आगे नहीं जाएगी, ऐसा मुझे लगता है।
ईगो की लड़ाई की वजह से आप जो साथी दल है उन्हें तकलीफ उठानी पड़ती है, चुनाव नजदीक आ रहा है, प्रचार करने का मौका नहीं मिल रहा है।
देखिए, मैं नहीं समझता ये ईगो की बात है। दोनों पार्टी के पास वहाँ के जहाँ उनको सीटें चाहिए वहाँ उनके पास अच्छे कार्यकर्ता है, सहयोगी है, नेता है, तो उनको ऐसा लगता है कि उनको भी वहाँ संधि मिलनी चाहिए, उनको मौका मिलना चाहिए, इसलिए उनकी लड़ाई चल रही है।
All right, so the development is that after the BJP core committee meet, 125 seats is what they're looking at for themselves and 5 seats for the smaller allies. Now, reactions coming in from the smaller allies there in Maharashtra clearly suggesting that they're looking at a unity between Shiv Sena and BJP if they have to counter the Congress-NCP alliance there in the state. My colleague Mayuresh now joining us with more details from Ground Zero. Mayuresh, it's getting rather more complicated with every passing hour, especially after BJP has asked for 125 seats for them alone, 9 for the alliance partners. Any reaction so far from the Shiv Sena? Because remember, Uddhav Thackeray was firm on giving, or not giving for that matter, more seats beyond 119, including the alliance, other alliance smaller partners there.
Shiv Sena, there is no response from Shiv Sena yet because BJP has not zeroed down with their own proposal. As you heard, the Vinayak Mehte, who is also an ally partner, he comes from he's a small-time party he's got, and he's in alliance. Even he said that BJP called me for this meeting. BJP leaders asked me to attend this meeting. Even they wanted to know what is demand, what is my demand, or how many seats I want. So BJP is trying their level best. They are not leaving any stone unturned, so that they are checking all the options which they can use to make that the new proposal which they will soon send to Shiv Sena. Om Mathur just spoke to media people and he said that we haven't got any response or any proposal from Shiv Sena yet. But certainly this we can tell our viewer that this meeting has ended now, and at 3 o'clock again this meeting will start. And in that, they will discuss the seat sharing issue thoroughly. In the first half of this meeting, they discuss assess the seats which are there in BJP's quota. And
Absolutely. Okay.
Check.
Okay, Mayuresh, we'll have to leave it at that, but thanks very much for joining us with those details. For now, 3 p.m. is when BJP again meets to discuss the seat-sharing issue in further details. But the big question is, how strong is BJP's case after losing in those by-elections that took place lately? We'll have to wait and watch how this entire case develops. But for now, let's switch gears and get you some news from Karnataka. Well, after NewsX exposed 15 Karnataka Congress lawmakers who are now whining and dining in Europe when the farmers in their state are dying of hunger in their constituencies, the Karnataka Chief Minister says that he is helpless and he can't bring back his own MLAs from that junket. Now, the Karnataka Chief Minister, who had earlier feigned ignorance over the junket of 15 Congress MLAs, is now saying that he is helpless and that he cannot bring back those MLAs. Remember, Siddaramaiah has said that because he did not fund their trip and they paid for their own, he does not have the authority to call them back. The Congress too has washed its hands off, saying even they can't do anything. The comments have sparked off clearly an outrage there.
People are suffering there, sir.
ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಸಫರಿಂಗ್ ಆಗದೆ ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು, ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಉಸ್ತುವಾರಿ ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ವಂತ ದುಡ್ಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾವು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ?
During elections time they promised that they will be taking care of them in the worst times. This is one of those worst times where MLA should be there like Godfather and taking care of them.
ಈ ದಿಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ನನಗೆ ಇದು ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಹೇಳಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. What can I do? What I can do? How can I withdraw, call them back. What can I do? What I can do? How can I withdraw, call them back?
I've spoken to the government. The fact that they're going shows how insensitive and feudal they are. They just don't care about their constituency. But I sympathize with Mr. Siddaramaiah because he cannot call them back. He's not giving them money. They're all gone on a private trip. They're spending their own money. So we can't blame him because they'll not listen to the chief minister. They're all free people, right? They're not cabinet ministers whom you can call back and tell him not to do it. And Siddaramaiah is not like somebody else in Delhi, right? So he's not going to put his foot down and tell them to behave.
And under such scenario, when the MLAs or MPs leave out on a junket, even if it is from their own pockets, it is not becoming of a public representative. And the Chief Minister of Karnataka should be, in fact, articulating his concerns in a proper manner.
Most of the districts in North Karnataka